forget.
We'll
You were the reminder I needed.
All right, it's 9 o'clock. So if we could call this meeting to order, please. If we can all join in the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is the Board of County Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, January 10th, 2017. Roll call.
Commissioner Asbury.
Here.
Commissioner Shaw.
Present.
Commissioner Catney.
Here.
Assistant Attorney Smith.
Present.
And Clerk to the Board, Kelly Kemper, present.
Right, do we have any amendments to the agenda presented to us? Dylan?
No, it's been evolving all week.
Yes, it was. Kelly?
Nope.
Linda?
Nope.
Counselor?
No, sir.
Good. Audience introduction. We start, Brent, with you, please.
Brent Bruiser, Westcliff.
Gary Davis.
Tom Davis.
Gary Taylor.
Bill Parker.
Jay Price.
Dale Malone.
Donna Hood.
Charles Bogle.
Jackie Bubis for the Sentinel.
Dan Bubis.
George Kuntz.
Wilson Jarvis.
Eric Foster of Silvercliff.
Dallas Anderson.
Carol Leslie.
Great, thank you. Welcome all of you. And we just had somebody else walk in. Could you please introduce yourself?
John Johnston, Westcliff.
Thank you. All right. See, we have some minutes to approve from December 30th. Had a chance to look those over?
Mr. Chairman, it appears to be reflecting the activities of that day. I make a motion to approve them.
I second.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Public comment period. The floor is open.
Thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you. My pleasure. No problem.
That comes with the plaque, right?
I have no idea. We don't do plaques. Commissioner items, Joan?
Since this last meeting we had.
Well, I'll do this here under old business, but I'd like some, if we can, updates on the committees that you've been, parts of the county that you've been responsible for. So we're kind of current on everything that's happened. Would you like to do this now, or would you like to do this in under old business?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what you're getting at. I mean, all these departments report, but I guess we could tell on the take on it if you'd like.
Okay, if we could,
Let you know.
let's start with Lynn. Can you give us an update on the Wetmore building?
Oh, right. Nothing. I can look and see what we are with the those.
The reason I'm doing this, folks, is for the benefit of our commissioners elect, so everybody has an idea of where we are.
I guess every 2 weeks since it started, there's a meeting between the general contractors, the architect, and in the county, and it has a timeline attached to it with how things are progressing. We receive one of these every 2 weeks that tells us how far along we're progressing. So it's like the structural framing is 100% complete. The exterior framing, let's see, is 100% complete. There's still interior wall framing is 95 complete. In structural, and then it has an ending date on some of these things, like the HVAC rough end should have been pretty much 100% complete by the 4th. I know they're working on that. They were having an inspection on the 4th or 5th for the electrical. The second floor steel deck structure is in place and 100%. The roof choices should have been 100% by the 3rd. They're 100% done with the roof deck sheeting. The porch joists were supposed to be done, so I guess they're done by the 5th. The porch deck sheeting Was carried on until like the 9th or something like that. Let's see here. The brickwork was supposed to have started yesterday on the front, along with the second floor contract is supposed to start today. The steel stairs, concrete, are supposed to be started today. The new roofing will be started on the 16th, and the roof drains will be put in on the 19th.
So we're basically on schedule as projected.
Pretty much.
How are we in terms of the, are we having surprises, any overruns or anything we've not anticipated?
No, we've had one, I gotta think what we call it.
Change order?
Thank you. One change order, and it went positively to the county's direction to save money, so that's pretty good for the whole project. I mean, anytime you have contractors and engineers and general contractors and supervisors and things, there's always a little bumps in the road, but it hasn't been anything traumatic at all. It's all moving along fine. The board of directors for the community center stays on top of it, along with the county employees down there that we had designated to keep an eye on things. So as far as I know, it's been really good.
Thank you.
Bob, I was also in that last meeting, and there were 2 minor changes made, 2 data drops added in different portions of the building, and we're so we're scheduled to be this week for working on the front. I've attended some of those meetings as well.
And I think it's important that we recognize the effort that Lynn has put in as the lead commissioner on this and still staying right in the middle of it as we go through the construction phases. We had, I'm trying to look at my notes here, the committee, the departments that you were in charge of. Anything there you would like to bring us up to date on, anything that we need to be looking at carrying forward?
Not that I'm aware of.
We had finance, the Rutland building, we went over that. There's nothing, anything there that we need to follow through on as an update?
Well, the next meeting between the county and the general contractors and the architect is, say it's every 2 weeks, so that'll be the 18th, usually at 9 o'clock.
At 9 o'clock at the building. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, well, Bob wasn't prepared for any of this, but I'm glad to do it. Actually, we're not in charge of these departments. These departments all have department heads. I guess what he's referring to is the fact that they have a commissioner that they can report to if they have needs of hire. So I guess that's where we're at with this. As far as road and bridge goes, they're all prepared for plowing right now. They're getting snow. All the wings have been gone over and ready to be quickly attached if needed overnight for new snow plowing. There is grading ongoing. The use of water has dropped off dramatically as far as grading the roads. They do get whatever little water they need for that through the service at the county shop instead of out at the lake where they get it during the summer. They're all caught up as far as what they're working on with their road surfacing, the hard surfacing that can be done now that we're in frost. They're not capable of doing that anymore. So they're doing regular road maintenance grading and waiting for snow removal. The one project that we see coming in the spring is they've been granted that bridge grant to work on the Hermit Road Bridge. Right now, Brent is up to date on that as far as all the submittals that we've made. It's been a year. You're probably going to have to ask for an extension on it because the state has been so slow in responding. But if the IGA is now in their hands, it's now their step to provide us with the draft IGA. We're comfortable as far as the agreement between CDOT and the rest of it. That's where that was really. The project that I'm working on, I've been working on with the extension office and through DOLA, and it's a planning grant that we've gotten the towns involved in and Round Mountain, and we're still waiting for the product from the CD, architectural student body. They set up committees to go out and do this work for DOLA, and DOLA has allocated the funds. And we've agreed on the matching funds. There's a group of all the different entities have committed $300 apiece to do that. But we have no product yet from them, and that project has been turned over to the extension office to finish that. So as far as landfill goes, the landfill is all caught up with their year-end filings and their quantities. They're about a third of the way through the trench that they're in now, and they'll have to be opening up another trench soon. And they have a cover program for the trench that exists. We've yet to hear back from CDPHE on the requirement for a monitor well, for the water well depth, to determine the depth of the water table and see if there's any possible contamination to monitor. They held off on that for last year, and they didn't give us an indication to put it in the 2017 budget, so we didn't put it in the 2017 budget. We'll see if it occurs itself again. The North landfill has gone through all of its closure process now. All of the entities have been informed. The deed restrictions have been put on the land itself by a filing, and the final engineering report is finished on that as far as the methane closure. So, what else? Zoning office just has their ongoing permit schedule, and whatever's going on with that, plus, it's a moving target. It's a month-to-month issue. The fee schedule has been established for the company. As I understand it, I think you have an opportunity when you talk about your calendars and so forth. You might be able to modify that if you want to in the next meeting in January. That's all that's really going on with zoning. The vehicle is in good shape. They had a minor repair, and that's all that's going on with that.
This is part of what they've been doing for the last 8 years or 12 years. I'd also like to go one step deeper. Both of you gentlemen serve on a number of regional and state committees. Kit, you want to talk about some of the stuff you've done with CCI? And
I'm on the CCI Legislative Steering Committee, and I presume you'll make an appointment to that, to fill that position. Custer County's not always been present at those, but I have been the years that I've been here. During the months of January through April into May, through the legislative session, they meet once a month to review their the status of legislation that the commissioners are concerned with. There's a voting member for each county, so there's 64 people present either by teleconference or in person at CCI for a two-day meeting each month, January through May. And then it seems in December they actually have a meeting where they set the legislation, and they solicit from different commissioners legislation that they may be interested in that would affect their personal community. And they've already set their legislative agenda. So the next step would be to attend those meetings and give your input and vote on those issues. There's often testimony connected with that. If you have a certain expertise that's needed in a county-sponsored bill, and a lot of times they'll call for testimony. You can go up and get testimony in front of the legislature, but that's all organized by CCI. CCI is also a great resource avenue for any information that you need. They can poll other counties on specific issues. It's a great resource to have. I'm sure all of you, the two new ones, are attending their orientation. That two-day orientation is very important. You get a handbook at that point. I think the handbook is electronic now. I scanned all of mine and kept it in my computer all the time, and use it at least monthly as far as the information that's in the handbook.
We're also on the
TPR.
presentation.
Yeah, I was on the EFF board. I had a state appointment by the governor to the EFF board, but they've already filled that position with another commissioner, and filled that position, I believe, in October. I attended one meeting. That's the EFF, the Emergency Fire Fund, which is how we get our state funding when we have a major disaster that takes care of airplane drops and that sort of things, large expenditures. When they bring in fire personnel from out of the state and they're called for by a state level fire, then that covers some of those expenses as a phrase for the county. Our fire department actually has a $28,000 fund for that they have been contributing to, so we have a little bit of leverage when that comes to be able to do some things in the very beginning of the fire to maybe nip it in the bud before we get our state approvals. I'm also on the TPR, which is the Transportation Planning Region for Southern Colorado. And we have input on projects that CDOT is doing up and coming. There's a 2017 project on Highway 69 from about, I'm going to say mile marker 50 to back into Worthington County and clear to Walsenburg, clear to Gardner, a recapping project, probably a 4-inch overlay. And they're going to do change and fix some aprons at that time too. As far as other projects on the books but not funded yet, probably, hopefully for 2018 and 2019, they'll be widening the highway from Rosita, from the bridge at the shooting range south to Colfax, because the original intent of that was to help with the buggy traffic as far as being on the shoulder, and they're now coming off of Colfax and coming up that hill with no warning at all. So I don't think there's any road in there. That's just in the planning phase right now. But the TPR also, from the TPR committee comes an appointee to the state committee, the STAC committee, which is the one that determines statewide projects. And so there's a committee there, they're looking for somebody to fill that capacity. So it doesn't have to be a county commissioner. They looked at that could be somebody who might be in the engineering field and one of the different counties to do that.
And this is a commission appointment that you've also on the BLM.
Yeah, that's a state. Yeah, I hold a federal appointment from the Secretary of the Interior to the RAC board, which is a Resource Advisory Council for the BLM. I just recently got reappointed for another 3-year term, so I'll be involved in that. The qualifications for that are just to be an elected official, so I still will have that capacity and considering that. I chair that board right now. The state's divided into 3 regions: the Front Range, the Southwest, and the Northwest RACs, they call them, RACs. We have an annual statewide meeting, and then we have quarterly meetings in Kansas City for the South District, which is actually the Front Range. Everything from the San Luis Valley, from the top of Wolf Creek Pass, east to the county or to the state line, and from the north state line to the south state line. So it's a big area. It's beyond. We make recommendations on grazing leases, oil and gas leases, special permits. The over the river project, Christos, that came in front of us. And so we have ongoing meetings and information and stuff. Plus there's a Washington meeting we can go to every year, but that usually doesn't fit in any good time for the county here, but we do have representation at the federal level on that too.
What about the top? Okay, you can see that there's lots of things, and you're on a number of committees. Would you like to give us
Don't know what they are.
Film commission.
But let me back up if I could, Bob, if you don't mind, to the project, the Wetmore project. Back in July, I think it was probably shortly after Brenda joined the team here, she sent in an application to the Coors Foundation for some funding to help with the Wetmore project. I certainly like to think that the new board is going to continue working on that. It was a grant request for $40,000, and a representative from the Coors Foundation is going to have a site visit there today. And in my first unofficial duty as a citizen, not a commissioner, I will meet with her this afternoon. I told her the situation when the application was submitted. The Coors Foundation was notified of the term limits by both myself and Commissioner Shy. So I talked to her last week and told her the situation and how she would like to handle it, and she still thought that she has some other things going on up this way, but she thought that she'd like to meet down there and just go move by. So,
what time is that?
that's supposed to be around 12:30, I think, unless I hear different. So that's why I was kind of surprised when I saw the agenda change here, because I have another meeting to go to. And the other things that I work on, Council of Government, COG. You hear us talk about COG once in a while. That's a group of counties in the region. Judy Lomas is director of there, has been there for a number of years. whoever the commissioner is that takes over that position, you'll really look forward to working with that group. Just kind of talk about things in the areas. When you go to all these meetings, whether it's a COG meeting or whether it's a SCED meeting, or one of the things that always, there's business to be taken care of, and then there's always a county update. And that gives the representatives of each county to talk about what's going on in their county. They talk about everything from, say, the Wetmore project or the underfunded courthouse things that go on. They talk about the festivals that they have coming up through the summer and through the winter and stuff like that. So it's just a general time for the counties in the area to get together. And then SCAD, Southern Colorado Economic Development District, that's the organization that has been around for a long time. Mr. Bogle was a representative 2 years ago. Marilyn Stavola is a representative with me right now. It's some funding opportunities, it's kind of some shortcuts through the USDA and things like that. It's made up of two things. There's the board of directors of the Southern Colorado Economic Development District, and then there's also a company involved. And when I started doing it, they were combined, and then the federal government said they had to be split apart. And so it takes a little while to understand exactly how it all works, but it does kind of work. Edie McLeish is the head of that. She'll help you along any way that you can. Right now, they're kind of working on finalizing the SEDS interpretation that was done. A lot of you that are sitting here were at that when we went through that. Every 5 years, it's the little program that they do to, what I want to say, goals and things for the county. Assessments, see where we are, see what we've come up with over the last 5 years. It's kind of being reworked a little bit. I believe, I'm talking to Marilyn, she was going to get it out to the newspapers, that it was available online. I don't know if anybody's had a chance to look at it or not, but because it was Edie's first go around with the SEDS, wasn't quite as complete as everybody wanted it to be, so we got an extension from the federal government, I think through sometime in February, to continue working on that. In the mountain area is being handled by a representative out of Salida, and then the plains, it's a 13 county thing or more. So that's kind of that one. And again, there are still some other grants in the works that have to do with the Whitmore Community Center. There's one in the works with USDA. It's just kind of a wait until they have money. All of a sudden they'll tell you, okay, now we have money, and so that's all a good thing. So those kind of things are still in the works, but that's about all I can think of right now.
Okay, well, I want you folks to see things are going on, and I do ask if you can, I know you need to leave, Lynn, and when we get the other commissioners sworn in, I'd like to ask Bocc to stay just a moment. We have a little recognition we'd like to do for you. Thank you for that. Please. That's all I have, sir.
Okay, great. Let's see, anybody want to have an executive session? Want to have an executive session just to clear the room, watch them all come out?
Both standing, they get a
Some
seat.
people might not like their seats. Josh will renew.
One of the things I forgot to mention, maybe we ought to talk about, is the recycling program, and that's also part of COG as well. And they have a very dedicated group down there that deals with recycling. That definitely needs to be promoted by the county. And I was asked by them to get involved in philanthropy days too, and commissioners have a role to play in that. We did a film for philanthropy days, and we have to film for that. So there are other avenues that COG works in as well, not just the basic ones on housing and so forth. They have a lot to do with our recycling program. In fact, that's a cooperative effort with the two towns as well. So that's an important one to keep on track. Sorry, Mr. Chairman.
No problem. Counselor, do you want to go into executive session for any reason?
Not today.
And I guess in looking at this, you're not on it. I just don't know what to say about that. Certainly give you the opportunity if you have anything.
No, there's nothing important there that I need to talk about today.
Okay. Under old business and new business, close out of business for 2016. The only thing that I'm certainly aware of is the intergovernmental agreement between the Board of County Commissioners for Custer County and the Custer County Sheriff's Office, the Wet Mountain Fire Protection District, Custer County Search and Rescue, the Custer County School District, and Custer County Emergency Medical Service, and a part of the West Custer County Hospital District. Is that what I mean, the right one?
Well, Custer County Search and Rescue should have been deleted up there. I guess I missed that somehow.
No, it's not.
Oh, I'm looking at my old
Here.
one.
Oh, I guess I'm looking at the old one too. I'm looking at one that I have. Anyway, it's something we talked about. We made some changes. There were some organizations that did not want to participate in the IGA, so we reformatted it. The West Custer County Hospital District has declined to enter into this intergovernmental agreement on behalf of emergency medical services. The expenses incurred for maintenance and repair and repeaters as set forth above shall be borne in equal shares by all four of the entities who have signed this agreement. As the Board of County Commissioners, Wet Mountain Fire Protection District, Superintendent of the Mark Plater, Superintendent of Custer County School District, Shannon Byerly, and there again, there's a signature.
Well, I left the signature line there, but it won't be signed.
Okay.
There's a note below it.
Right.
So we can take some action on that, please.
So the one that you have, the caption does not include Custer County Search, because
The one that I was reading, that's the one that was.
You mean under item 7?
now up in the bold part up at the top, I think it still says Custer County Search and Rescue, and I was trying to dig that up, so I guess I missed that.
Uh-oh. Brenda, you have to reprint page 1 as well now.
Just delete
We did
Custer
three,
County
just
Search
do
and
two
Rescue
instead of-
from up in the,
You know, we best check wherever that might occur also on the other pages, just to
Okay.
make sure. Because we have under item 1, the caption under item 1 on page 2, it also says Custer Emergency Medical Services. That needs to come out there.
well, I thought we were gonna leave that in, but it just, they wouldn't be a party
Signature.
to it.
But it separates them out. It says the Emergency Medical Services are part of West Custer County Hospital District. Do you want to do it that way where we mention it?
That's how I did it all the way through, because if they were gonna participate, it would have to be through the hospital district, because we have to sign off on it.
Or then maybe it needs to say that in the signature too.
In item,
Or on the signature line, Ellen Lester, Executive Director, West Custer County Hospital District, acting on behalf of Custer.
it could, on the first page, it identifies the hospital district, it says it supervises and has administrative and financial authority for Custer County Emergency Medical Services, so I thought it identified the
Okay,
relationship.
well, but then we mentioned them both together again in 2 other spots, so I just didn't really need to there as well. Whatever, that's fine.
I think we need to get on with
Whatever the case.
And my recommendation, we had signed off on it before that way, and the fact that the hospital district is not going to participate necessarily takes emergency medical services out of the picture. They don't have any decision-making authority on their own with respect to this.
But it's also going to increase the contribution of each one of the parties as well, when they want it.
Right, and that's why I made that
So
that note at the
that's why we're
bottom.
going to need action from everybody.
Yes, before our planning on participating and signed off on the original one.
So clarify again the changes we're gonna make.
The only change I think we need to do is in the bold type caption of the intergovernmental agreement. I've got to take Custer County Search and Rescue out of that. The rest of it can remain as is, with the clarifying note at the bottom that the hospital district is not participating in this.
So if
Just
we,
leave them as a main party, but make it clear they have not agreed to this, and they're not going to contribute to the repair and maintenance costs.
So if we agree to pass this on, sign it, and pass it on to the other entities, then will Brenda circulate that?
Yes.
Well, then Brenda probably needs to preamble with an email that says that this will change their financial responsibility.
Correct. And if it makes a difference, then we have to bring it up and discuss it again.
Yeah. We're well aware of it, so whatever action we take, we'll know about it.
I make a motion to approve the intergovernmental agreement between the Board of County Commissioners, the Custer County, Custer's County Sheriff's Office, Whatnot, Fire Protection District, Custer County School District, and Custer County Medical Services, a part of the West Central County Hospital District, with the change suggested by council.
I'll second the motion.
Great. It was just a verbal, you know what it said. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Great, thank you. Let's see, did, what are we here? Like I say, I'm not aware of any other 2016 business. The next item would be the Veteran Service Officer report approval. Tim, good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Good.
Good to see you.
Morning.
Jim?
So you think you need to take care of this from December, huh? So you can
Yes.
so you can get some reimbursement or
Yes,
something?
it has to be submitted by the 15th in order to get the check.
And so you think we ought to do that?
Yeah. A little $8,000, so it's probably a good thing.
Well, you have the floor, sir.
Okay, keep it short and sweet. December, good month, just for the record, which you know, look at office visits. This is the 4th month in a row where we had over 100 office appointments. So September through December. We always get that bump in the fall because of the trust fund. And we have just about finished the money on that. We had another 19 applications roughly yesterday. And so with the VFW, who's at the mission at the grant, we've gone through roughly almost $36,000 since September. So that'll be winding down here shortly. So the only other thing of significance is report monthly. If you look at the page 4, I highlighted the database. We went from 311 last month to 323 I think this month. So we're on pace. We keep adding about 10, 12 vets a month with the database. Matter of fact, yesterday, trust fund application, we had 5 vets that came in for the first time ever in the new luck program, including a couple of vets who had been here for a few years. So
That's been the average since you started, right?
yeah,
It's 10 months.
yeah, 10 to 12 months. We keep growing it. So and that's anything of significance.
Yeah, just to quell some rumors flying around, would you be willing to kind of cue us in on what happened at the incident yesterday?
Yesterday, yeah, we had a vet come in early.
Just a second, Sheriff Farley,
Yeah.
I want to be sure, but this is still under investigation, so I want to be sure we don't step.
Yeah.
We're going to give a brief update on yesterday, but I want to be sure we don't go beyond our bounds, so could you kind of monitor us? Be the hall monitor, be the hall monitor.
No personal. Had vet come in yesterday for a trust fund. After we got done, we went to use the restroom. While he's in the restroom, we heard a loud noise. It sounded like either it was a loud, real popping noise, and somehow he was carrying and his weapon discharged, and he accidentally shot himself. And called 911. And Ivan Brooks and John Decker were there. They went in immediately, did a partial dressing on it, and from my understanding, he was doing fine. And there was a bullet hole in the light in the ceiling. So we did the rest of the day emphasize, make sure all weapons were on safe. And when they came in, so
Good.
So that was more than enough excitement.
Does that answer what you wanted?
Well, it was just important, I thought, to quell any rumors. That's,
Yeah.
the absolute minimum to do
It
that.
is
Is all I'm asking for.
and accidental.
And I believe this is still under investigation.
It is.
So we need to be careful what we,
Yep.
thank you.
We have a question. Would that call for the question, should that be a gun-free zone for the safety of the DSO officer and the public, or should?
I'm not concerned about it personally. You know, the county, carry kind, so it's just part of the life.
I met yesterday with Mike Halpin, who handles our security, and there are some issues from the state level of prohibiting weapons in a public building. Like schools have separate legislation for their controls. We will be addressing it. I asked Mike to be thinking about it. He's going to do some more research. Apparently, one of you, I think, were there a few years ago. You addressed this issue. Was that in your first term, maybe?
Yeah, what we discussed at the time with the sheriff at that time was that it was an optional thing for us to do, but that it was gonna add another layer to the security, which we didn't have the equipment or the training for. And at the time, we decided not to do that because it was necessary then to provide the search capability in order to meet the statute. And then if you met the statute and something happened and you missed it, you were in actually worse condition than you would have been by now.
And we also have to have, if we, I understand if we were to do it, like today, we would have to have security and metal detectors at all entrances.
Yes, yeah, you have to be able to enforce it.
I see the post office has some posting to the public, but I've never been confronted with any enforcement.
That is a different facility, so it's a little different.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Well, the big challenge would be is that how do you enforce it? Because as you said, so like most either courthouses or county buildings, they have a primary entrance egress point where all the public goes in and out. As we all know here, that is not the case. So it would be difficult to enforce that.
That was addressed in our courthouse
Yeah.
plan that we did for the courthouse improvements.
Yeah, after we complete the remodeling for the judicial part of our courthouse, we may be in a position at that time, at least in our preliminary plans, we'll have one primary entrance that will have a metal detector, and then the other ones will be secured with guard entry only. Does that answer?
Yes, sir, it just really has to do with the safety of our employees and the public.
Right, and it's,
That we're mitigating any possible liability. All of the above.
Would I entertain a motion to accept the County Veteran Service Officer's monthly report?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to accept the report and commend Tim on this report as well.
Do I hear a second?
second,
Discussion?
yes, this total of 323 is for this year.
No, that's an ongoing database. For
How many have you added this year, would you guess?
Well, appointments this year, I just closed out, we did 1,024 appointments total for the year. Last year was 572, 2014.
Well, that's not office visits, you were talking about the 323, that's the
Three-
number of
that's-
That's the
registered.
number that's
Registered
registered
vets
there.
in the
He's getting to
database.
what I was
Yeah.
thinking about. What, how many for this year?
1,024 total, and of course, that's,
Okay.
as you're working on claims and other things, disability, service disability claims, you may have one.
When do we live in
veteran.
14?
2014, I pulled the reports from 2014, 140 for the year was what was reported to the state.
I would like to amend the motion to include recognition of the dramatic increase we've had in office visits and increased service to the county veterans.
We have an amendment to the motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it, I thought I covered it in the same good job, Tim. We can make you,
Yeah. And on a side note, just like, I'll keep commissioners updated on, as you know, earlier this year, we started seeing more Cotopaxi, Texas Creek, the rural Fremont County area. We're gonna pick those up, because it's closer here to Kansas City. The VSO for Fremont County is only open 20 hours a week, so we are seeing more of those that's coming from Kansas. Last week, I actually had 2 appointments from Pueblo, who they drove up to Pueblo. I talked to Rudy, he's a good VSO down there in Pueblo. he is backed up at times, a month and a half. So that calls him to Pueblo, sometimes it's a month and a half before he can see the VSO. So that was a first, I had 2 appointments in a week from Pueblo. And you see that. It's just a reality. That's what we're for help.
So you're getting some off the west end of the river? Is that, you're getting some of those folks go to backseat Coaldale?
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely.
I hear about going there, a couple of people down there.
Yeah, I've had appointments from Howard, Bocc, Texas Street, Kansas City, Florence, and last week, from
What about Morgan County, is there any change there?
I've had a couple from Garner, but not very much. So, part of it is, because there's, just drawing a blank, but, at the veterans home, Roger Watkins down there, outstanding VSO. He's not a county VSO, but he is very powerful through the county, but he's actually working at the veterans home, and so a lot of us go see him.
Well, don't you do a couple of weeks a month at Gardner, at the school? It seems to me like they have veterans presence there at the school a couple of days a month.
Yeah, they might, I'm not familiar with that, but they got 2 good VSOs down in San County, so they're working on it.
Well, other questions?
Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Great, thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
Here, I'll give you your paperwork back here. Oh, there you go. All right. So the next item on the agenda is a swearing-in ceremony for elected officials at 10 o'clock. The way this works is this Board of County Commissioners, this board goes into recess, and we reconvene at 10 o'clock, and I'll call the meeting back into session at that time, and then we'll proceed with the swearing of the new elected officials. So at this time, and the next item on the agenda is the swearing of the new elected officials. So with that in mind, I'll turn it over to the judge. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. For those of you who don't know by the presence of the rope, I am Judge Hunter, Amanda Hunter. I've been on the bench for a year now. This is my first swearing in, so other than my own, so bear with me. It's significant to work in the public sector and for the public, and it's important, and both that significance and importance is bore out by how full this courtroom is. That's really just a great thing to see from a person in my position in this community. So I'm glad you're all here today. And I think the best way to get started, we have several people to get through, and I'm looking for those plaques right over here. And I'm going to go, no favorites, I'm just going to pick the first one on the pile, and that is Mr. Prince. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. All right. Mr. Prince, if you raise your right hand. I, J.D. Prince,
J.D. Prince,
do solemnly swear by the ever-living God
do solemnly swear by the ever-living God
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Colorado,
and the state of Colorado,
and faithfully perform the duties
and faithfully perform the duties
of the office of County Commissioner, District 2,
of County Commissioner, District 2,
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Excellent. Ms. Hood. Hold on a second. All right, you raise your right right hand, repeat after me. I, Donna L. Hood,
I, Donna L. Hood,
do solemnly swear by the ever-living God
do solemnly swear by the ever-living God
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Colorado,
and of the state of Colorado,
and faithfully perform the duties of
and faithfully perform the duties of
the office of County Commissioner, District 3,
the office of County Commissioner, District 3,
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Excellent. If you'll sign here.
Sign that first hand and put your name there. Thank you.
Kelly Camper. So raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Kelly S. Camper,
I, Kelly S. Camper,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
by the ever-living God
by the ever-living God
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Colorado,
and of the state of Colorado,
and faithfully perform the duties of
and faithfully perform the duties of
the office of County Clerk and Recorder,
the office of County Clerk and Recorder,
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
All right, Ms. Camper. There you go. And last but not least, Christopher Shy, Kit Shy. Mr. Shy, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Christopher L. Shy,
I, Christopher L. Shy,
do solemnly swear by the ever-living God
do solemnly swear by the ever-living God
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of the state of Colorado,
and of the state of Colorado,
and faithfully perform the duties of
and faithfully perform the duties of
the office of County Surveyor,
the office of County Surveyor,
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter. Sorry, I got a long name.
There you go. Congrats to you all for All right, thank you, everyone. I think we have some refreshments if anybody would like to dig in. Mr. Catney, did you want to say anything?
As Board Commissioner, we will be in recess for about 15 minutes or 20 to enjoy the refreshments, and then we will reconvene back in the Commissioner's room. Thank you. If you may, I would like to call this meeting back to order. The next item on the agenda is a recognition, and I've asked our two outgoing commissioners to be here for just a moment. I make a motion that we recognize Kit Shy and Lynn Atterbury for their services. I will be reading a resolution, and we also have a certificate. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I just want to thank them for the service they've provided for many, many, many years.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The first one I'm going to do, and I will read both of these, I ask you to bear with me. A resolution by the Board of County Commissioners for Custer County, a political subdivision of the state of Colorado, honoring Lynn Atterbury for his 8 years of dedicated service as a county commissioner for Custer County, Colorado. Whereas Lynn has served 2 consecutive terms as a county commissioner for Custer County. And whereas during his 8 years as county commissioner, Lynn Atterbury has faithfully and diligently performed his constitutional and statutory duties with the highest standards of professionalism and integrity. And whereas Lynn Atterbury has demonstrated a keen knowledge of the county's budgetary process, has consistently made sound monetary decisions in his role as a steward of the county's limited financial resources. And whereas, in addition to carrying out the duties of his elected office, Lynn Atterbury has gone beyond what is required of a county commissioner by tirelessly volunteering his time in a multitude of ways, including, but certainly not limited to, tasks ranging from assisting during emergencies to doing routine physical maintenance and repair of county courthouse and other facilities. Whereas Lynn Atterbury persevered in his efforts to achieve a much-needed rehabilitation of Whitmore Community Center and Library, which resulted in all the necessary financing being arranged, largely through grants from the public sector and private sector, and construction being commenced. The citizens in and around the Whitmore area will soon be able to enjoy their new, much-improved community center thanks to the hard work of Lynn Atterbury. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners now desires to recognize and honor Lynn Atterbury for his 8 years of outstanding service to Custer County. Now therefore, be it resolved that the Board of County Commissioners for Custer County, on behalf of all the citizens of this county who have been served well and faithfully by Lynn Atterbury, hereby recognize the outstanding job he has done and express his heartfelt thanks. Well done, Mr. Commissioner. Would you come forward, please? And this will be identified as Resolution 1701. And we also have a plaque and appreciation certificate honors Commissioner Lynn Atterbury for 8 years of service to Custer County on his 10th day, January 2017.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Lynn.
Congratulations to you.
Is it been
Thank
signed? No, wait, well, we'd have to sign that.
You have to sign it, they all have to sign it. Congratulations.
We'll get, we need to vote on this shit, right?
Vote on that.
We need to vote on this resolution, don't we?
You already did.
I thought we did not, we identified it by number sufficiently for you? Okay. And now, we gotta sign these, I'll let you start to sign. Resolution number 1702. Resolution by the Board of County Commissioners for Custer County, a political subdivision in the state of Colorado, honoring Christopher L. Kitschai for his 8 years of dedicated service as a county commissioner for Custer County, Colorado. Whereas Kitschai has served 2 non-consecutive terms as a county commissioner for Custer County, and whereas during his 8 years as a county commissioner, Kitschai has faithfully and diligently performed his constitutional and statutory duties with the highest standards of professionalism and integrity. Whereas Kitschai has been an outstanding representative for the county as he has traveled to countless regional and state meetings and conferences on behalf of Custer County. And whereas as a professional surveyor, Kitschai has donated his time and expertise by performing dozens of surveying tasks for the county, saving the taxpayers thousands of dollars in the process. And whereas Kitschai has, throughout both of his 4 years term, conducted himself with great dignity and principle and silently endured much undeserved criticism and personal attacks on his motive and character, while at all times keeping the best interests of his constituents foremost in his mind, and working to serve them to the best of his ability. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners now desires to recognize and honor Kitschai for his 8 years of dedicated service to Custer County. Now therefore, be it resolved that the Board of County Commissioners for Custer County, on behalf of all the citizens of this county who have been served well and faithfully by Christopher L. Kitschai, hereby recognize the outstanding job he has done and expresses a heartfelt thanks to him. Great job, Mr. Commissioner. And thank you both. It's been an honor, and I've learned an awful lot the last 2 years working with you and learning how county government works and learning how we integrate with the state activities. And you can see what I'd asked earlier this morning for them to briefly go over what some of their projects and what they've been working on. You can see how broad that scope is. So thank you both. We'll get this signed
You bet.
and get
Thank
it to you.
It's been a delight, thank you.
Let's give one more hand.
Thank you.
All right, the next order of business, I probably should have done this first. I will open the floor to the nominations for the chairman and vice chairman of the Board of County Commissioners.
Fellow commissioners, I'd like to recommend that we appoint Bob Katnick as chairman of the Board of County Commissioners and Donna Hood as the vice chair of the Custer County Board of County Commissioners.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Appoint Bob Katnick as chairman, Donna Hood as vice chairman. Is there any discussion at this time? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Our next order of business will be the county appointments. And find my list here. We do have a change on here. I'll explain it now so everybody's clear. In conversations this morning with Rusty Christensen, and he had indicated this prior to me, but he would like to move from being the road boss to working full-time at the landfill. We've got a number of issues out there that he's working on. We've been shorthanded, and he said that his first love really was the landfill. He's worked on it for 20-some years. So that having occurred, when we get to that portion of it, we will just continue on an interim basis and do a search and screen and move forward to fill the vacancy as quickly as possible. Any questions? Okay, and the reason we're not in position to this now was that I just finally got it confirmed this morning of what his wishes are. Okay, I will entertain as we go into the list of appointments.
I'd like to make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that we appoint Mr. Clint Smith as the county attorney, and at the same time we appoint Ms. Kelly Camper as the clerk of the court.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay.
Mr. Commissioner, I'd like to make a motion that we appoint the Sentinel newspaper as the official publication to post the commissioner and the county public notices with the Wet Mountain Tribune, the Canyon City Daily Record, the Pueblo Chieftain, and the Florence Citizen as backups to the Sentinel.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, is there any discussion?
There is discussion, please.
Please.
For the sake of our audience, Mr. Chairman, would you please explain briefly what the specifications for bid list?
The specifications, and I may have to holler at Brenda, she gave me a copy of the letter and I don't see it right here. Yes. When we appoint the official publication for the county, circulation is not a factor in consideration. What is a factor is which is the best decision for the county and which is the best decision financially. I have in front of me the, I don't see that other letter.
1,500.
No, the one that we sent out for bids requests. All right. During regular scheduled Board of County Commissioner meeting on November 15th, the board motioned unanimously to request bids for the countywide 2017 publications. Custer County, a political subdivision of the state of Colorado, is requesting sealed bids from the Wet Mountain Tribune and the Saginaw Crystal Sentinel for the upcoming year 2017. The bid is to include costs for countywide publications required under Colorado Revised Statute 24-70-101, titled Legal Notice or Advertisement. Privately supported legal or advertisement. Number 3, publicly supported legal notice or advertisement. The bid should be based on 10 pica line, 6-point type. Bids will be considered based on price for the specifications herein cited. Sealed bids clearly marked legal publication will be accepted by the Custer County Board of Commissioners. The address until 4 p.m. Monday, December the 5th. And this was signed by the Board of Commissioners. So that was the request that went out. Now, if I may have the bids we got back in were read in public record on December the 6th, I think it was, opened by the county commissioners, by our county attorney. From Jim Little at the Tribune, statutory legal notices, 25 cents per line, and the non-statutory legal notices were 32 cents per line. The Sentinel, for the statutory notices, is 16 cents per line, and the subsequent insertions will be the same. Our bid is 14 cents. So having received both of these, we look at 16 cents versus 24 cents, which is about a roughly, do you have about $3,000, I believe?
That was about $3,200.
$3,200 difference. So based upon this is why we've selected the Sentinel. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The Sentinel will be our legal publication. Okay.
Mr. Commissioner, I'd like to make a motion that we use the bulletin board at the courthouse as the primary polling place, and at the same time we continue with the First State Bank of Colorado as the county's depositories.
I'll second.
Would you, okay.
Okay.
And the first, I have a motion and a second. I would like that to also include that did you mention the county's website as the legal posting place?
I did not. I believe Mr. Smith, we only need one legal one, is that correct? But we will be posting those on the website as an addendum to it, but I don't think it's a requirement by law.
We also have Colo Trust.
Pardon me?
Colo Trust. We are all of our extra monies are in Colo Trust. C-O-L-O
Right.
Trust. T-R-U-S-T.
And is that at the First State Bank also?
No,
Where is that held?
that's up in Denver.
Thank you.
Would you amend
So
your
I will
motion?
amend
to
my
approve it?
motion to say that the Cole Trust will handle the accounts that are required to be handled by them, and the other accounts be handled at the First State Bank.
I'll second.
Okay, the amendment has been made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Or is there any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Amendment carries. Now vote on the motion as amended. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion on the appointments of the positions that report to the Board of County Commissioners. Those being, based on what your initial comment was about Mr. Christensen being transferred to the landfill, we'll leave the supervisor position vacant. The assistant supervisor in Westcliff, Mr. Squire, and the assistant supervisor, Mr. Haynes, in Wetmore, I recommend we accept their appointments. Ms. Dwana Hobby, Human Services and Finance. Mr. Post, David Post, for custodian, scales, and minor maintenance. I recommend we reappoint him. Ms. Laura Lockhart, Human Social Services Director. I recommend we reappoint her. Ms. Jackie Hobby, Planning and Zoning Director and Sanitation. I recommend that we reappoint her. Of IT Director, Chuck Ippolito. I recommend that we reappoint him. Mr. Chairman, the public health nurse, Ms. Solstutz, I'm sorry that we're losing her, but she's moving, has done an absolutely wonderful job. I'd like to have that as a vacant position until we're able to fill that position. I'd like to recommend that we appoint Cindy Howard of the Office of Emergency Management. Tim Schwartz, Veteran Service Officer, I recommend we appoint him. We're going to put Mr. Christensen, Rusty Christensen, he's already at the landfill supervisor, and I recommend that we keep him there. And those are the appointments that I have, Mr.
Is there a second?
Second that motion.
Discussion, I suggest we might want to take the assistant road supervisors and have them as an interim appointment, so when we appoint the new road supervisor, may want to move some of those around, or one of those may want to move to a road supervisor.
I'll take that as a friendly amendment to the motion, and I will accept that.
I'll second that amendment.
Is there any discussion? At this time, I call for the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, do we need to, let's see, Cindy, are you here? Howard?
She had to leave.
She had to leave, okay. Okay, I knew she had to leave. Let's move on to our county holiday calendar at this time.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt the holiday calendar as presented to us. Do you want me to go through what the holidays are?
Tentative.
Ma'am?
Tentative.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you say?
Tentatively.
Okay.
Yes.
Tentatively.
Yeah. These will be the way this works is we set up a calendar and then we try to follow it. But there are times, because of meeting conflicts or things that we need to do, we may have to modify this calendar. So I would suggest we identify it as the meeting calendar may be subject to change.
I'm a little confused.
You have something back here?
I'm a little confused,
Yeah,
Mr. Commissioner.
you said holiday.
Oh, excuse
I thought we
me.
were talking about holidays.
Leave the holidays alone. The holidays are the same as we've had in the past.
Okay.
Well,
I'll go ahead and read those.
And
yeah, but these are just suggestions, so you all have to.
We accept them. Yeah, we
There's
haven't,
one
so we'll go vote on them.
on this list than there was last year.
And I
so
see
you
that.
need
That's-
We understand.
Columbus Day was not on there.
Columbus
The
Day
reason-
is on it now.
Yeah,
To
that's,
read it is, but then I put day after Christmas because we had that this year, and we didn't have Columbus Day this year.
Well, it's
I
the
don't
way
have
it says,
Columbus Day.
kind of on the weekend.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And the
that's-
reason-
And we should really have Columbus Day off because there is nothing open. There is nothing happening.
I asked that in review.
The reason that we had Columbus Day off is because the way Christmas fell this year, they offered to give us Friday, we always get the day after Christmas.
Right.
So they offered to give us Friday and Monday in lieu
To make a
of,
4-day weekend.
yeah, in lieu of Columbus Day. That's why we missed Columbus last year.
Is the point being made that you're looking to have at least 2 4-day weekends in a year? Is that what the goal is? Just curious.
I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
Okay. Because they would do that.
I just put it on there because I wasn't sure what people wanted, and so.
Let's read
That'd be
the
great.
days for you folks and you can go from there.
Okay.
When we'll continue discussion after this, would you?
I don't have Columbus Day on mine.
I have it in my packet. Let
Go
me-
ahead. Why don't-
Okay, I'll read it. Okay.
You can look at it.
New Year's Day, Monday, January 2nd. We've actually taken that as a holiday. Martin Luther King, Monday, January 26th. President's Day,
January
I'm sorry, 16. President's Day, Monday, February 20th. Memorial Day, Monday, May 29th. 4th of July, Tuesday, July 4th. Labor Day, Monday, September 4th. Columbus Day, Monday, October 9th. Veterans Day, Friday, November 10th. Thanksgiving Day, Thursday, November 23. Day after Thanksgiving, Friday, November 24. Christmas Day, Monday, December 25. Day after Christmas, Tuesday, December 26. And then looking ahead, New Year's Day, Monday, that's the one we took already.
It should be 2018.
That should be 18.
Right.
And I think, Donna, and correct me, the rest of you, typically in the past with Christmas, it kind of depends on where it falls in the week, whether the commissioners only give Christmas Day or they give the day before.
Like a
or the day
Wednesday?
after. Yes.
If it's a Wednesday.
Yes, or the day after, yes.
I think it's important that we have 2 days of Christmas in the middle of the week. And rather than just having Christmas Day, I think it's important that we
There's not
have.
a whole lot happening usually anyway. People are out doing it.
Right.
Jay, are you okay?
I'm fine with it. So I guess I had a motion on the floor. Let me amend it to the dates that Donna spoke of with the inclusion of October 9th. That would be, if I counted correctly, 12 holidays for the calendar year 2017. I'd like to make a motion that we adopt that as our holiday calendar schedule.
I'll second that motion.
Is there any more discussion from you folks in the audience? Are you comfortable with this? Okay. Make sense? Okay. I'll call for the question. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay.
Now I'll go to the one that we spoke about a minute ago. We started to talk about.
I'm sorry.
No.
Usually we do a resolution for the holidays. Would you like me to print that out?
Yes, ma'am. Please do.
Would you like me to move on to the BOCC meeting schedule this time, Mr. Chairman?
Okay.
All right. We have a tentative schedule for the BOCC meetings. We have it through the entire year. I already know of one change. We added January 20th, or we'll be adding January 20th as an additional meeting. One of the things that I would like to see at some time in the future, near future, Mr. Chairman, is some evening meetings for folks who work and are unable to make a 9 o'clock in the morning meeting. So I'd like to recommend that we accept this meeting schedule as it's proposed, with the option of amending it as we see fit, as circumstances prevent themselves.
I'll second that motion.
Discussion, please.
I would like to speak just for a moment, please. I know that we have discussed streaming our meetings. I know that we would really like to do that as diligently and as quickly as we physically can. That will be able to open our meetings up to many more people. You could be traveling and obviously get our meetings that way. So I would like to just say that I would like to see that occur as soon as possible. I think transparency in what we do is paramount. I'd like people anywhere to be able to see what we're doing. So in the near future, I'd like us to work towards getting our meetings on the internet, whether it's on the county commissioner's page, the county page, or a separate page. We'll get the word out.
May I add a comment, Mr. Chair? For your information, one of the signatures that will happen right after this meeting, we are actually taking advantage of a SIPA grant for this specific service that we want to provide everybody. So it can be up to a $5,000 grant. So we're heading in the right direction there.
I'd like to make a comment at this time. I think it might be just a little premature. I certainly understand the desire and the benefits, but until we know what the costs are going to be, we do have physical limitations on the lines that are coming in. It's much simpler to download than it is to upload, and if we don't have sufficient capacity for uploading, our meetings will kind of go along like that. So we need to look at this, and I think we will be. But at this time, it's certainly, I would suggest that it's not an item of action. It's something that we will be considering, and we also want to then look at what else we need to do, working very closely with Chuck for other upgrades within the building. So we can, get up to the best speed that we can find, whatever our needs are. Okay?
So to reiterate the motion, what we have in place, I'd like to recommend that we take it with the availability to amend it and modify it as we deem necessary, according to the law, of course, with notice to the public.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Will you be reading those dates out loud? The Tuesday, or can I have a copy? Because I like to match the planning commission and the BZA.
We will give all of the, I think we'll send everybody in the courthouse a copy. It may be an email, would that be the easiest for you? An email copy so everybody has the dates?
That'll be great, because on Tuesdays, we try to meet the same time you do.
I would also recommend that we post it on the official bulletin board, and with a notice that it may be modified from time to time.
And the resolution with these dates has been signed, and now we're passing it to the clerk for authorization.
I want to make a motion to accept that. You did the dates, but you didn't do it as a resolution.
Thank you. I make a motion, Custer County Resolution number 17-03, Resolution Board of County Commissioners of Custer County adopting the 2017 official holidays for the employees of Custer County. Whereas pursuant to Colorado statute, official holidays for the employees of Custer County may be set by resolution of the Board of County Commissioners. And whereas when a holiday falls on a Saturday, the previous Friday shall be observed as the holiday. And whereas a holiday falls on Sunday, the following Monday will be observed as a holiday. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Custer County Commissioners that a list of holidays as set forth below shall be observed during the calendar year of 2017. The first one that will be impacted by our board is Martin Luther King Day, Monday, January 16. President's Day, Monday, February 20th. Memorial Day, Monday, May 29th. 4th of July, July 4th. Labor Day, Monday, September the 4th. Columbus Day, Monday, October the 9th. Veterans Day, Friday, November the 10th. Thanksgiving, Thursday, November the 23rd. Day after Thanksgiving, Friday, November the 24th. Christmas Day, Monday, December 25th. Day after Christmas, Tuesday, December 26th. Approved and adopted this 10th day of January 2017 at Westlake, Colorado. Do I hear a motion to approve the resolution?
I'll make the motion to approve the resolution as stated.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. We moved and seconded to accept the resolution. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you, Kelly.
This is it.
Okay.
Jen.
Would you like to, Donna, go through the points of contact?
I would, but I need Jay's paper. I'm sorry, what is listed here is not correct. Okay. Points of contact. Donna Hood, Information Technology, Human Resources and Finance, Buildings, Custodial, Grounds and Maintenance, and the Extension Office. Bob, Emergency Management Office, Road and Bridge, Landfill, Veteran
Recycling.
Services, and Recycling. J, Human Services, Public Health, Affordable Housing, Useful Public Service, the Airport, Zoning and Planning.
Okay. This is just an announcement, so we don't have to.
Is that published, will that be published on the commissioner website?
We can ask for
I
that.
think it. Donna?
I don't know if that's on there or not, but we can.
I mean, Brenda,
put it on
excuse me?
there. Yeah.
Hmm?
We can put
It
it
might
on there.
help
I
the
don't-
citizens know who to
Who to
contact.
contact.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Okay.
I'll need a copy of that.
Yes, ma'am.
County appointments. And we completed that one, didn't we? Yeah.
We need the list. Thank you.
We did
The
the
contact, regional board
All
appointments.
of
We're
these.
up to Cindy Howard.
Yeah,
We-
I think you're down to your regional boards.
Regional Board appointment.
It's on that list. She just did.
but we've not identified these people who are appointed to this board.
Brenda, this came across yesterday afternoon, the update on the regional boards.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you not have the right one?
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, this is the one that I got this morning. So.
That's what I have right here.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I have
Appointments made to serve on regional boards and commissions by unanimous vote. And I'll go through, I think we'll just go through all of these, we'll move along. Upper Arkansas Council of Governments, Jay Prince. Recycling Board, Jay Prince, Dennis Spector. The COG Workforce Investment Board, Donna Hood, Charles Bogle, Chuck Steigerwalt. Southern Colorado Economic Development District, Donna Hood, Marilyn Sedola. Airport Advisory, 1 year, Alan Butler, Bob Jolly, Bob Kester, Dallas Anderson, Dan Green, and Jack Decker. 911 Authority Board, Donna Hood and Bob Katnig. Emergency Services, Bob Katnig and Jay Prince. Action 22, Bob Katnig, Donna Hood, Jay Prince, Chuck Steigerwald, and Charles Bogle. Now the way Action 22 works is we only have one vote per county. So if there's 5 of us there, we can get together and see how we're going to split our vote. If there's one person there, well, that's the one vote. So that's why we've got a number of commissioners on here, so we think it's important we try to be there.
Let's go back.
Pardon me?
You need to mention him
But,
up here.
but that's under our assignments.
Yeah, which we're talking about.
But we already read that.
No. Okay, all right.
Just a second, I got a question here, and let's clarify it. And under the advisory board, we have Jay Prince. When we read the committee assignments, didn't we say that Jay Prince was on the advisory board?
Yes, sir.
So I think, is that correct?
Yes.
So that would cover it. Okay, thank you, folks. Moving on down to the Colorado Film Commission, Jay Prince and Donna Hood.
I like her, but not that much. I like you, but not that much.
I knew it was going to happen, folks. I'm more nervous right now than the first day I sat behind this table.
You're doing great. Just keep doing it.
The TPR, STAC.
But you also have Maryland.
Yeah, you
Hennessy.
mentioned Maryland.
Maryland.
Mentioned Maryland, right?
Oh, Marilyn Hennessy, I'm
Thank
sorry.
you.
Okay. I will work on the CTAC board. Scenic Byways, I will work on it. Appointments to serve as county level positions on boards and commissions. Our CTAC representative are Chuck Apolito, Elizabeth Archuleta, Office of Emergency Management Director Cindy Howard, and will be the Director of Public Health will also serve on that committee, which is basically what it's been. The Director of Ambulance and Licensure and Inspection will be CTAC. The Planning Commission, expiring in 120, will be Chris Nordike, Steve Henning. 119 continuing on is Dale Mullen, Pat Bailey. 118 continuing on, Vic Barnes, Bill Donnelly, and Patrick Lynch. The Planning Board of Zoning Adjustment, a 3-year term. Brad Hartbar through 120, Lockett Pittman 120, Rod McEnrath 120, continuing Ken Patterson Sr. 119, and Gene Canterbury 118. Alternates to the Planning Commission and Board of Zoning Adjustment, 1-year term. Reappointed Lance Ingram, Mike Carter, and Mike Shields. Colorado Tourism Board, Donna Hobby.
No,
Donna Hood.
thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Bob Weisenbach. Brent Bruiser, whose term will expire in 119, so we can keep the rotation going. Jackie Bubis continues through 119. Brian Klintz, Gregory Smith, and Brian Klintz. And 2 ex officio members will be Gregory Smith and Renee Smith. Now, we are limited by statute to 5 people on the board. One of them has to be a commissioner. The West Custer County Library Board, which we approved last time, but we also are validating this time because this is unusual. This board expires in December instead of January, like all the rest of the boards do. Dave Heppy, Debbie Rabinowitz, Amy Bauer, Bar Scott, Jim Gerhart, J.D. Henrich, and Renee Tobin. Extension Advisory Board, expiring in 120, Cheryl Larimore, Mary Gump, Pat Bailey, and 19, Bill Baker. Carol Custer, Jordan Hedberg. 118, Grace Watkins, Janet Freeberry, and Roger Gregg has been added as a weed advisor, and this, I believe, was at your suggestion. But the reason we have him on as a weed advisor is that we do have a weed advisory board, and we do have issues with weeds in Custer County. And Robin has done a very good job of working to try to help us combat this. And it's an ongoing problem that probably getting bigger as much as we work.
You want to correct the spelling on that, it's Freeberg.
And
It's
we're
Freeberg.
talking about the weeds that grow out there, not the ones you smoke.
I have a correction. I thought it was Freeberg on, it's misspelled on our sheet as Freeberry. So it is mine, it's Janet Freeberg. And we appointed an alternate to this committee, Sue Schwartz. Ex officio will be Leah Coleman, FFA, and Robin Young, CSU Extension. Fair Board, 3-year term expiring in 1/20, Audrey Glusky, Bill Baker, Diane Rose, and George Coombs. Continuing on, Alicia Shy, 19, Melissa Gonzalez, Scott Raleigh, and 18, Dwayne Foster, Eileen Squire, which we're appointing in a position, Lynette Gilmore, and Sue Roberson. Advisor, Leah Coleman, FFA, and Robin Young, CSU Extension. The Weed Advisory Board, we will have, at this time, it's just a 1-year appointment, but Arlie Garrison from the Colorado Department of Transportation, Tom Coalfield from Colorado Department of Transportation, Jeff Uthier, Forest Service, at large, Bill Donnelly, Dick Downey, Roger Gregg, Rick Romano from National Resource Conservation Service, Jana Rapetti from Fremont County, Roger Squire from Road and Bridge, and Robin Young from CSU Extension. Can you explain, Robin, the role of the Fremont County person?
Because we contract with her so often that she's a part of our weed board so that she can be in on the conversations.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know if she was their representative or whatever, but okay. Wetmore Community Board, Center Board, and this was per their recommendations. It's a 1-year appointment. Alden Gray Chairman, John Spar Vice Chairman, Ruth Spar Secretary Treasurer, Marjorie White, Nan Davenport, Nancy Cruz, Rose Hildenbaugh, and Ruth Roper. The Wetmore Community Library Board, again with their recommendations, Nan Davenport Director, Jerry Draper Chairman, Bernadette Castillo Treasurer, Ruth Spar Secretary, Joy Eden, or Iden, I-D-E-N, and Julie Skinner. Affordable Housing, a 1-year term, Charles Bogle, Mark Paler, Mike Liebman, Monty Lee, Roger Kemper, Wendy Rusk, and Wilson Jarvis. Enterprise Zone Representative, Charles Bogle was reappointed for a 1-year term. And the Upper Arkansas Council of Government Loan Revolving Representatives, Wendy Rusk is our primary appointment, and alternates are Charles Bogle and Paul Wenke. Have I left any out?
Nope.
Do I hear a motion to approve these?
I'll make a motion that we approve the appointments to the boards, the regional boards, as stated so eloquently.
I'll second that motion.
Any discussion? Yes, ma'am.
The recommendations to the Fair Board, had approved that the sale committee would be a part of the Fair Board, and there are 2 people that were left off of that appointment. One was Carol Lee Rowley, and the other was Brianna Livengood.
We never got that. Never got it from the Fair Board.
Okay, but they are sale committee members, and the Fair Board has appointed them to the Fair Board as members. So there's a conflict within the Fair Board on how it's structured and now what you're appointing to the board.
The Fair Board can elect your membership, but the commissioners have to approve it.
Right.
Is there any objections to these other 2 being on there?
I have no objection. If people want to work to help the community, I'm all in favor of it.
Well, I think the idea is that it's being a sale committee,
I
they will
understand.
rotate coming to the board, but they need to be appointed to the board.
I will.
I have no problem.
I will entertain a motion to nominate, and what were the 2 names again?
Carol Lee Rowley and Brianna Livengood.
To the Fair Board in addition to those already mentioned?
Brianna Livengood?
I'll make a second motion to accept the 2 as stated.
Discussion?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, and
Go to
Discussion?
discussion.
Yes, I am concerned because I did not quite hear the planning commission appointment.
Let's take care of the Fair Board first.
Okay.
not on the discussion, or not on the Fair Board, I'm sorry, but on the Extension Advisory, there was one other last-minute person that.
That's just a second. We've got the Fair Board on the motion on the floor right now. Any other discussion regarding those two? Call for the question. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Okay, now you've got another one?
Okay, yes, to the Extension Advisory Committee, it was last minute that she expressed interest to come in. Katie Smith.
We did make that consideration, I think with how many people were on it. We did review that.
Is there a limit to how many people can be on that board? Okay. And is that for a 3-year term?
It is.
Okay. What is the person's name?
Katie Smith.
And who is Katie?
Katie is, I know her through 4-H, but she's also attended a number of extension programs and is big into family and consumer sciences.
Do we have a letter from her?
So, yes, an email.
Okay, we didn't.
I sent it to Brenda this
It's
morning.
included in your packet.
It's this
Okay,
one.
that one.
And our attorney comes to our rescue again.
Okay.
Okay, now what position would she fill?
She could be an at-large. Katie is just, she has a lot of knowledge within extension and has worked with extension in different areas as well. So she wanted to be a part of our advisory.
Well, we already have one at large. Do we have any other? Well, I'll make a motion that we appoint Katie Smith to the Extension Advisory Board, and that would be a 1/20 expiration.
Okay.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Discussion.
I just want to say, it would really be helpful going forward when the commissioners make the announcement that we need letters, which there was significant notice for people that want to come on the boards, that we have them. Looking at that email, it's January 9, that's why we didn't have her on the list.
We already,
I think in the future, I may not approve appointments that come in after the deadline. I just don't think that's appropriate.
is there any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Okay, now we'll go to Jackie.
Okay, would we go through, we have 3 seats on the planning commission that are up for another 3-year term. We received 3 letters from the people that had been seated, and I want to know who you replaced them with. The same person, I didn't catch it all, I was,
Okay, Chris Nordyke.
thank you.
Steve Henning.
Steve Henning.
Is new, Jackie.
Okay,
And, well, let me read the rest.
Patrick Lynch was the other one.
Patrick Lynch is, but we don't show him, what I have, his term expires in 1/18.
He was on my list, so he actually, there's a letter in your packet.
I know,
Yeah.
but we have him on here as expiring in 1/18.
I know, but I had him on my list.
That's fine, we
So,
understand that.
uh-huh.
But is there a problem? If we have him on here, is that a problem?
No, not at all.
Do you want to know the terms? How long?
No, I guess the term. So you did not, you replaced Keith Hood.
Right.
With
Okay.
Steve Henning.
Okay, can I ask just a question so I can get this clarified in my house brain? I have a Keith Hood who has been a member of the Planning Commission since 1997. He's been a member of this valley. He knows the ins and outs. Is there a reason why he did not get re-upped?
Well, we felt we needed some new people on there. Because if you've been here since 1997, we got a lot of new people that moved into the county since then.
And that was our decision.
Okay, now, now with let's go to the Board of Zoning Adjustment,
Okay?
please. And the BZA,
We have Brad Hartbar, was new.
Uh-huh.
And Lockett Pittman was on it, but was reappointed. And Rod McElrath was appointed. And then Ken Patterson and Gene Canterbury continue.
okay, now, associate members.
Alternates? you mean?
The alternates for the planning and zoning, we had the three that were there, Lance Ingram, Mike Carter, and Mike Shields.
I don't have a Mike Carter.
Mike Carter is the zoning and planning gentleman from...
We added him to the,
Oh, okay, from Westcliff.
yes. We think it's important that we have other entities represented that are within our county. I mean,
So
we
that
understand.
so Dale Mullen would just be a seated member.
Correct.
Right, and we talked to Dale, and really, you had Dale down as an alternate to the Board of Adjustment,
Yes,
but he couldn't be an alternate to the Planning Commission because he's on the Planning
That
Commission.
was the problem.
correct.
So that's why he's not on here as an alternate, because this is the alternates to the Planning Commission and the Board of Zoning Adjustment. Okay? Any other questions? Yes, sir. Hello, Vic, didn't see you come in.
What's that?
Didn't see you come in.
Well, I snuck in the back. You know, I'd like to go back to the Keith Hood appointment, because Keith's been on there longer than any of us there, and I don't know anybody that has more experience than Keith is, and so I'd like you to reconsider that. And then, you know, if you don't want Keith on there, typically what the commissioners have done is gone to the alternates. That's the reason why we have alternates, is for them to get experience to come on the planning commission. So Keith is an invaluable member of the planning commission, and I'd like you to at least reconsider that. The other point, I don't think Jackie brought it up, was that we got a letter from Skip Northcross to be on, excuse me, I got fighting this cold, to be on as an alternate. And the reason Skip put that in is because we've had twice this year, we've had not enough people to serve with the seated members and the alternates to be able to hold a meeting. And that's pretty embarrassing for us to
Okay,
be in that position.
I suggest then perhaps we want to table this, and we'll visit with you. We'll table this until the 20th for our next meeting.
I'd appreciate that.
Would that be?
I'd appreciate that.
Would that be comfortable? You folks, what do you folks think?
I'm fine with it, although if we have two people on the committee who are strongly in favor of this gentleman. He seems to have a lot of experience. Actually, while we even should table it, we ought to just go ahead and let's put him on. There's enough people on there, and let's just get it done. I mean, I trust you. I'm not on that committee. If you tell me that he's a valuable person, let's put him on.
Well, and then maybe I should comment too a little bit step further. In our zoning regs, it does state that you pick a member from the associate members. So whenever I do have an opening, I ask the alternates or associates if they do want to be a seated member.
So the state zoning regs supersede the commissioner's actions? Is that what you're saying?
We do, yeah, there's rules in the zoning regs on how do you pick.
Okay, well, we'll address this if everyone's
But I
comfortable.
really do believe that it's best to start out as an associate member to get the
Yep.
feel of it. And I would appreciate it
That's-
if you did reconsider and put Keith on there.
I'm fine with that, and I mean, if you want to table it, Commissioner, I'll do that.
That's up
but-
to you folks. Now, are you limited on the number that you can put on there?
No, it's only limited in funds. Because every time you add a member, you add more paperwork and the funds of mailings and stuff, but no big deal.
So ideally, Vic, are you asking that the alternates, that you have about 5 people on that list? Versus
If I
3?
understood it right, we have Lance and Mike and
Mike Carter, a new person.
Mike Carter, I'm not familiar with Mike, and then we would have Skip also. And
Skip
the
and-
reason,
No, wait. We're talking about one gentleman. We'll talk about Skip in a minute. I don't want to confuse them all together. We're talking about gentleman's hobbies brought up. Right?
As chairman, go ahead.
Okay, now, Jimmy, what was your concern again?
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay, my concern is you brought up another name. We were talking about the gentleman that what was his name?
Keith Hood.
Keith Hood, thank you, I wrote it down, I didn't look at it. Mr. Hood joining as an alternate, and I thought we were having a discussion about that. I'd rather resolve that, and then we could discuss, in my opinion, skip.
I strongly suggest that we take this appointment and table it until the 20th.
I'm fine with that.
Fine.
And then we can go back to what you're, because we had no knowledge of what you have from the state.
Yeah, it's in
And we
the
needed,
Zoning
that, and we didn't have it, because that was a restriction, what we weren't aware of. What we've done, folks, is that these folks couldn't do anything officially until today. So we've met and tried to go through these as best we could and put them together. Mr. Johnson?
I've attended a lot of the the planning and zoning meetings, and I do feel that Keith Hood is a valuable regular member of the board.
Pardon me?
I've attended a lot of the planning and zoning meetings, and I feel that Keith Hood is a valuable regular member
Well,
of that.
I've known Keith all my life.
Yeah.
And as we look at this, it's fine to have people that have been there a long time from a history. But at the same time, you have to have some rotation so the newer people are represented. And we look at this, we do have some people who've been there a long time. And I have no problem when we talk about this in a discussion. I certainly have no problem with that.
Can I make one more comment before we have that meeting the 20th?
We haven't decided to have it yet.
Okay, well, let me make one more comment. I always find too that volunteers in Custer County are hard to get. And I say that what little bit, most of the time I send my packets out in email. And my philosophy is take them all.
Well, but it's our...
But let me tell you where I'm coming from. I know it's your decision. But my philosophy is take every volunteer you can because they get burnt out real fast. A lot of them have a lot of appointments in their life, and that's how come we're short of people showing up and filling the seated member. So if we took all these alternates, we can handle anybody.
Duly noted.
Okay, do I hear a motion to postpone the appointment of the, you want the Planning and Zoning Commission and the alternates? Are you comfortable with the planning, with the Board of Adjustment?
I would recommend that we discuss them all on the 20th, please.
Because the ultimate decisions does, within the statutes, does rely with the commissioners on who they select.
Correct.
Okay, and I would reiterate then, the Planning Commission, Board of Zoning Adjustment, and the alternates to the Planning Commission, Board of Adjustment, appointments to be postponed until the next commissioner meeting on January the 20th. Is this correct?
That's fine. I mean, you have the discretion to appoint anywhere from 3 to 9 to the Planning Commission and up to 5 to the BZA. So you can certainly table this and discuss it further and decide how many you want.
We have the 5 on the BZA.
Okay,
I'll second the motion to table it till the 20th.
discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Do we have any other discussion on the appointments?
I should go.
Yes, sir. Did you?
Thank you.
Oh, yes, sir.
Commissioner, you formed an ad hoc communication committee.
And
Resolve that, or is that still?
that didn't have an expiration date, that,
You did not have that.
right. That continues as we are,
Okay.
and we will probably formalize it, but that does continue as we are. Anything else? Okay, back to, do I call for the question? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Appointments completed, passed. Let's see, that takes care of it except all appointments, doesn't it?
Yes.
Brenda, I got them all covered, didn't I? Okay. We are going to this emergency management planning grant. We've received information on it. There is a time sequence that this grant needs to be submitted. We have all received numerous updates from Office of Emergency Management. And at this time, I would entertain a motion to approve the work plan as they had presented.
I'll make the motion to approve the EMPG work plan as stated.
And that's part of the Emergency Management Planning Grant.
I'll second the motion.
For emergencies in the county. And it's, again, it's a planning grant, it's not an action item, and we have no financial responsibility to it. Right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Do we have any other business that needs to come before the board at this time?
I
Yes,
have,
sir.
I have two commissioner items, if I may. I know we had commissioner items early, but that was the other commissioners. So if I can, I would like to recommend that we adopt Robert's Rules of Order as a guideline for how we're going to conduct our meetings in the future, but not adopt it as the rules that we will follow explicitly, but we'll use them as a guideline.
You got in the form of a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we do that.
Okay, second?
Second?
Is there any discussion? Part of our reason for doing this, if we get down to it, folks, under Robert's Rules of Order, the chairman does not vote. So we would be 2 and 2 unless there was a tie.
We have to do it this way.
And this gives the flexibility for the chairman to be a little more involved. Okay, all in favor, let's see, do we vote?
He didn't do it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
And Mr. Commissioner, I have one more thing that, Mr. Chairman, I have one more thing I would like to ask. And I would like, Mr. Smith, if you would please, give us some guidance on the Colorado open meetings laws as to what the three of us can do or cannot do without being in a public meeting so that we don't violate any of the laws, if you could. And it doesn't matter to me whether that's orally or in writing, and in the next meeting, if it's possible, or if it's not, it's too soon, we could do it some other time. But I'd like some clarification on when we can discuss things and when we can't, what we can discuss and what we can't.
What I'll do is prepare a written memo and send it to all of you.
Thank you very
prior
much.
to the next meeting, so.
Or whatever, no.
That'd be great.
But I mean,
And we will also make that public.
Right, no, that's fine, I'm happy to do that.
Thank you.
Okay.
I have nothing else, sir.
Donna?
I'm good.
I guess as a final closing statement before we adjourn, and I see that our courthouse people mostly left, we're going to meet with staff this afternoon at 1, and the primary purpose of that is assuring that there will be no major wholesale changes in the way we do business. We think if it's not broke, don't fix it. We're very comfortable with most everything that's going on, and there won't be any earthquakes coming out of here today. Did you have something else, Dallas?
Yes, sir. You keep mentioning January 20th is the next commission meeting. That's a Friday. That is correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
And the reason we're doing it then, we feel we've got to meet before the end of the month.
Mhm.
And that's the first day that we can fit it into the calendar on a short notice.
Okay.
We will not be, I don't think we have a meeting on Fridays. I don't like to meet on Friday.
I don't either.
But we do have stuff I think we need to continue with.
Okay. Well, as long as I'm with you on that, because I need to get on the agenda as a airport full board.
Anything else? I will adjourn the meeting of the Custer County Board of Commissioners at 11:32 a.m. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all for sticking around.
Well done, Bob.
Congratulations on getting the first